I've been asked why I joined NAELA. And it's kind of funny because it's almost a rhetorical, well, why wouldn't I join NAELA? I'm an elder law attorney. Since almost the very beginning of my career, I've identified myself as an elder law attorney. I'm not a trust and estates attorney, although I do trust and estates work. I'm not a probate lawyer, though I do a lot of work in probate court. I'm a guardianship attorney, but I'm not just a guardianship attorney. I'm an elder law attorney. And that means that I deal with families that are helping seniors, and I deal with seniors that are working through life changes that are really altering the way they live and are narrowing the choices that they get to make at this point in life. I've developed these skills because I want to work with this population. And I developed these skills through my NAELA membership and the programs that I've attended as a NAELA member over the years. All the work that I've been able to do as a NAELA member, the committees that I've participated in, the articles I've written, the talks I've given, and the interaction with my colleagues that practice not only in my state, but in other states across the country. So it isn't a matter of why did I join NAELA, it's more why wouldn't you join NAELA if you are an elder law attorney? This is the place to be.
NAELA is a unique organization. It's been around for many years, and it's the only one nationally that assists its members in learning about the practice area of elder law and special needs planning in terms of education, introducing individuals to colleagues who practice in the same area, and keeping them on the cutting edge of what's new and important in this area of law. It also is an important organization in terms of advocacy, such as public policy at a national level when legislation's being contemplated or introduced that might impact the clients that we serve.
And NAELA really supports its members. That's one of the primary goals, is to make sure that members have the education, the qualifications necessary to provide for their clients, as well as the networking, which is really important. I know since I've been a member of NAELA, I have gotten a huge number of referrals from throughout the country based solely on my contacts through NAELA. But again, the advocacy is really important. They're in Washington fighting for the legislation that really affects every one of our clients, and that's something that we really need to support too.
Why should you join NAELA? 3 simple words: advocacy, community, and education. Those are the 3 things that really define who we are, and underlying each one of those 3 is the NAELA spirit that a dear past president of ours, Frank Johns, coined the phrase kindred spirits. We're kindred spirits up here. It's what connects us.
NAELA is probably the best thing I ever experienced in my practice. Joining NAELA was one of the smartest things I ever did. It's a community of like-minded individuals that support each other, help each other, and we learn together how to advocate and represent our clients to the best of our abilities.
And the other benefit that we have is we have this great network, not only just within our state, but we also have it throughout the country. And so a lot of the issues, as a lawyer from Texas, if I visit with someone from Massachusetts, once I get past trying to understand their accent, we realize that a lot of times we have a lot of issues that we deal with in common. And so that's very beneficial. Sometimes you have issues that certain parts of the country start seeing before other parts of the country, and so you can start seeing trends or something that may be coming your way, and it'll help, and so it helps you sort of prepare that situation. The other thing that really particularly helps younger lawyers is it gives you a network to visit with other lawyers who have some practical experience. Our experience, well, not only in Texas, but also being a national NAELA, is that most members are from law firms of 5 or less. That probably hits 80 to 90% of the members. And so we also have the benefit of dealing with the business side of practicing law, where you have ways to bounce off ideas with other members. And maybe what you're seeing is other people experience it, and sometimes that makes you feel better. It's like, okay, it's just not me. But it also helps you on the business side of being able, are you not only enjoying your practice, but are you making money at it? And so I think that's another benefit that we have. The other thing is that I think the members enjoy just the social aspect. I think they enjoy the aspect of getting to see people they've known and met over the years, not only from their own state, but from other states, and just that networking of attorneys. As lawyers, we tend to be in adversarial positions, and a lot of times in elder law, many of the issues we have are not as adversarial, and so there's just sort of a different camaraderie with elder law attorneys, I think, and especially NAELA members, than you would just see with general members of the Bar Association. You're not worried about someone from Colorado taking away your business in Louisiana. So you're much more free and willing to share ideas and exchanges and things that work for you and things that may benefit others. And so that's another strength that we have in NAELA. And in fact, I think a lot of times that's one that members don't really think of initially, but I think long term, that's where the real benefit comes into play.
Partly because I know these lawyers, when they go back to their home state, my students can say, Kate Mawhinney is one of my professors, and she said I should come and talk to you. So don't get me started, I'll start telling you about all my former students who are practicing around the country with law firms. And NAELA allowed me to maintain relationships with people so that helped my students get opportunities in the field.
So I transitioned from nonprofit law into elder law, very similar heart, but I knew I definitely had a steep learning curve, and there are different places where you can choose to get educated, and I felt like NAELA's heart was in the right place because you can always acquire content in your brain. That's actually not that hard, although with California it can be confusing. But it wasn't just about the head knowledge, it was a lot more of the holistic approach that I found was really attractive. And I actually was hoping to find mentors in NAELA, and I think it doesn't come automatically because it's requesting time and energy, but I have to say, out of different organizations I've joined, NAELA really does have more senior experienced practitioners who are really genuine when they say they want to help you.
I became more involved in NAELA. I'm the vice chair of the tax section right now because as a practitioner, I am a tax attorney by background. It was an area that I saw as a gap with some of my colleagues in terms of the elder law planning that they would be doing, and elder law and tax law do not play well together. So to be able to then give them a body of knowledge that was directed particularly at some of the elder law planning techniques that we do so that people wouldn't run unintentionally afoul of the tax law, or with some clients who like to do, I call do-it-yourself planning, shall we say, to help them unwind some of the tax consequences that might have become involved in that. So in that way, I really felt that it was an opportunity for me to take a skill set that I had, because I know that as a member of NAELA, I borrow on other people's skill sets when my clients have issues that are outside of really what my main practice area is. And it's what's allowed me to be a better counselor to my clients.
Friends and colleagues of mine that are in the public sector, public interest sector of the area of law sometimes ask me why would I want to join NAELA, or what would I benefit from NAELA? I would have to say, when you're in that situation, generally you're not going to have your firm paying for your bar dues or things like that. So I'm very limited in terms of what I choose to join. And when I've compared this to state bar associations and things like that, this has been the best value for me in terms of meeting my needs, meeting my professional development. I think for anyone that works with a population of persons that are aging or persons with disabilities, this definitely is an organization that you would benefit from. It's really given me so many opportunities to, I've gotten to do things such as participate in drafting of uniform laws on guardianship. I've gotten to participate in other types of policy making, which has been a great opportunity. And just the resources that this organization has in terms of just the volunteers, the knowledge base, all those types of things especially for younger attorneys starting out not sure where they're going to end up, people that might want to eventually go into private practice or stay in the public sector. I think this still has been a very valuable organization, and that's why this has been the one I've chosen.
I have a fantastic mentor who also happens to be my boss, so I'm very lucky in that I get to work with her every day, and she's extremely involved in this organization and encouraged me to do so very early on in my career as well. So I can't say that I was forced to do it, but she did strongly encourage that I follow her example in joining NAELA. And from the moment that I did, my very first meeting with the Missouri chapter of elder law attorneys, I was instantly welcomed. I learned a lot from the CLE that occurred at that meeting, and in determining that this was the law I truly wanted to practice, and in beginning that passion, I could see that same passion in everybody else that was also attending that meeting. So I knew this was a group that I would fit into very, very well, and who had a lot of the same goals and aspirations as I did, and could provide me with the substantive learning that I needed as well.
Really, the first reason is the collegiality among members of the Academy. They are a great group of people, with virtually all of them willing to share their ideas and stories. Over the past 18 or so years, I've learned a great deal, not just the substantive issues regarding elder law, but the most important thing, especially about attending a NAELA conference, is the informal learning that goes on, specifically in the hallways between sessions, going to dinner with members, sitting and having lunch, or maybe even over a drink if you're so inclined, to really understand their passion, and you really get wonderful ideas from them. And over the years, I've learned from many very bright, well-known elder law attorneys that helped make me a better attorney as well.
So the reason that I joined NAELA is when I was transitioning from a tax planning basis, I actually went through the directory and called all the members in my area and talked with them about how to get into this area of the field, and every one of them said, you have to join NAELA. This is where you're going to get the information, whether it be regular educational materials, whether it be networking opportunities, whether it be referral opportunities. This is the community for folks that want to practice in this area of law. And so to me, it really is a no-brainer that if you're going to practice elder law and special needs planning, you have to be a member of NAELA.
I joined NAELA right out of law school in my first year of practicing, and I wanted to join because I wanted the community. We have our local bar association, but I realized and recognized the importance of networking with professionals in other states and understanding what's going on across the country and how their practices and the federal law and things may impact my own individual practice. So from the education perspective, I look for that, but I also looked for it as a way to network and a way to make the legal community smaller in that sense for me as to the focus of the area that I was practicing in.
I was introduced to NAELA by one of my law school professors. She was teaching elder law, and she was in one of our clinics, and she recognized that I had an interest in the area, and she told me about NAELA. And not knowing anything about it, I went to the website and found the aspirational standards, and I learned so much from the standards, because what they do is they take the experiences of everybody like Bobby, who's been in this area for a while, and you get to learn from them without having been through the experiences yourself. So although I was new to the area, I had heard about all the experiences that Bobby and other people have had based on reading the aspirational standards.
You know, I think one of the things that we love about NAELA, right, is the education part, the mentoring part, but the real community around elder law attorneys. And I think that one of the reasons I joined NAELA, I was brought along by a colleague, and she just kept saying, you're going to love all of the interesting issues with ethics and elder law. And so there's so many nuances and interesting things about the ethics that surround elder law that that's kind of what brought me to NAELA. And of course, I have a background in criminal law, so all of the financial exploitation and elder abuse issues are just so part of my DNA that I just love to think about how NAELA can really be a moving force in the prevention of, creating new victims, right? So I think that's why NAELA is just such an amazing organization.